Yeah, hello. Welcome to today's Wednesday session. And I'm just closing few extra tabs so that this connection gets the maximum bandwidth. So thank you for your patience. Today, actually, I was kind of feeling underprepared to do this, and I guess many times in our lives we feel like that. And the only choice that really makes sense to me after going through this journey uh, for the past couple of years and so is you have to go with it and show up no matter what. So what if I'm underprepared today and I feel that I can't deliver the perfect session that I want to share with you guys? By showing up, I get to share something, and maybe that's what needed to flow through me to you today, and gives me an opportunity to learn and improve on how I want to structure these sessions so that you guys can make the most of it. So yeah, here I am. Okay, so today mainly I want to talk about what is spiritual awakening, because I'm all about understanding the basics, the principles of things, the patterns of things, so that we can build upon that. And yeah, take what resonates with you, take what like clicks with you and makes sense to you. And that's what I'm going for today and always, because I'm not about forcing things upon myself or on others. I like when life just flows through you, and when we open up to the possibilities and open up to the energies and to ourselves, we really help that flow to work through us. And that's a beautiful way of living. And yeah, I want to share that with everybody. And I hope that's how we get to live, and not, restricted by our clocks or obligations, or rather than what our mind is telling us to do, other than what we are wanting to do. Yeah. Another thing that came to me uh, is sorry, my throat is suddenly itchy. I guess I'm opening up my throat chakra, which feels great because I was very kind of feeling hesitant to do this video. So this is how it actually works. This is a great example I got to share with you, is by being open to being expressive and express my journey, my truth, and really showing up for what I believe in doing. Uh, Opens up these blockages, that mental blockages we have, or energetic blockages we have, that I was feeling kind of inadequate or underprepared to do this live. And I was even considering doing an offline video and then posting it, because it's a little less pressure than just going on rambling on a live sometimes. But I saw the signs just telling me to go for it and do this live and be open and let what is flowing through me to flow, and those who are on the other end of this stream or replay will receive it, who are meant to receive this. Yeah, that's the best I can do, or anybody can do. So show up for what you believe in truly, in any way that you can afford to in this moment, and it really opens up the blockages, and it makes the transition so fast, so meaningful, and so profound. So like I felt that itch and thing in my throat, and I still can't stop talking. Okay, so yeah, the spiritual awakening, what is it? So when I was trying to structure this to explain, I kind of broke it down into 3 steps. Now, these 3 steps doesn't have to be linear. It can come to you in any order that is suitable to you. One thing that we go through while we ascend through this journey of spiritual awakening is lose linear thinking. Okay, and some people see it as being spirals, like how we grow in spirals, like everything in nature. If you have seen the center of a sunflower, how it moves in spirals, and you will see this everywhere in nature, how it grows like seashells, how they grow in golden ratios in spiral ways. And sometimes I also see this process as uh, like kind of random and jumping in very fast between these stages or steps of spiritual awakening, and visiting these steps is happens over and over again, because the awakening and the remembrance of our soul happens in layers, because and I like to say this a lot, like if you were to given all the information about how incredible you are, how amazing and miraculous is you that you are, it will just blow your mind. And we are not used to, see ourselves as this awesome, beautiful, godly, divine beings. So this awakening happens in layers and often starts very dark, but it's the process, and it gets better as you go deeper into this and get to know yourself better and get to connect with yourself better. Yeah, so these 3 steps, and again, it doesn't have to be in this order for you, and you're gonna revisit this in a number of patterns and ways, like in spirals or in networks, different times, to open up more to your true essence, to your cosmic energy. Okay. Okay. The first step that I've written down is realizing the artificial matrix or the web of lies that we were placed into and we have known and interacted with a lot since we were born. Okay, this, and I'm not going to go in details with what kind of lies that we have been told to. I am sure those who are watching this video already have like a list that you have already identified and thought about and been like, whoa, this was the reality that the human collective was living in and accepting as the collective truth, which is a very disempowered, destructive, doomsday kind of feeling of a reality where there is no place for being individually unique and extraordinary. Okay. Yeah, so first layer comes up in realizing that wave of lies. Now it can happen at a collective level when you wake up to how the current or the old earth money system works and how it keeps that wealth gap and actually expands that wealth gap without even letting the people 90% of or 99% of the population even realize it. And also all the separation that we have seen between countries, and that hasn't like got to do anything even with what's going on today, but there's some old stories that we keep uh, holding on to as nations. Like, how stupid is that? And this can also happen in your on the individual level, like how you are holding on to some narrative which is just a lame story that you somehow got attached to. And this is not to throw any shade on you, because I've gone through this process and I was like, whoa, how dare you think like this about yourself, Meghma? Whoa. So I understand, okay, but there are these so many narratives that we wake up to, and that's the first step. at least. And in the beginning, I believe this kind of goes in this sequence, but as you lose the concept of linear time and linear thinking, it jumps from one thing to other. Okay, I hope I'm not confusing you, and yeah, and I hope that you got the first step and the gist of it, what kind it feels when you go through this. It's like waking up and realizing the wave of life that you have around you or even within your own mindset. And to complete this step, the key ingredient, what I believe, is acceptance. Okay, to accept without judgment the existence of that story which we have been playing with and participating in it, maybe collectively or at the individual level. And this could be any story. And just to, because I think in my experience, when you first wake up to one of these negative patterns or stories, there is a lot of judgment, anger, despair that comes up immediately, and you kind of have to work through all the thoughts and emotions to reach to a neutral acceptance place, to go back to neutrality about it. Okay, it is what it is. And that kind of sums up this stage of the awakening, where you are just coming to terms with what has been. And that's awareness, okay? And that's the beginning of everything. And yeah, that's basically, I think, what you need: awareness. So if you're struggling with a lot of things in your spiritual journey, like you have a vision of your life being spiritual and very connected, but you're struggling to get there, and sometimes this can bog us down, just keep on focusing on the awareness of this, that this difference in reality that you're experiencing. Okay, that you want something XYZ, but maybe you're experiencing ABC. Work through the judgment against yourself or anybody else, or the situation, or maybe what the government has done or the world is going to or have done so far. Yeah, so work through the judgment, release those judgments or fears or criticism, okay, and bring neutrality to it, bring presence to it, just awareness to it. And that's the beginning of the magic. As you become more and more aware without judgment, you will see yourself change and shift. Your energy will start shifting automatically, because that's how intelligent our whole human mechanism is. It's more complex than what we have been taught. Cool. I will move on to the next step now, which is, now that we're aware and we have accepted, the next thing, of course, we don't want to stay in this narrative. We want to break out of it. And it happens with the reclamation of your thoughts, will, emotions, and wealth. Okay, wealth. I have such a huge blocks around wealth, and this is something I am here to transcend as well for my ancestors and stuff, like many of you out there as well, is to understand abundance. And it does not mean some numbers in a bank account. It means being abundant in giving, in receiving, in having your time to yourself, and with the things that you love, that the things that you feel connected to. Yeah, so that's the reclamation of these four things that kind of makes up your yourself, is your thoughts, your will to do something, your emotions around it, and wealth. Uh, to give you an example, like what do I mean by reclamations of these things? With the thoughts that you are free to have your own thoughts, you do the thinking and not follow what you're told to think. In this lifetime, all of us have been told a lot of times how to think in schools, in our families, or maybe culture. And there has been this objection to what your original thoughts may be, and kind of trying to mold yourself how the world is supposed to be. And maybe that's why a lot of you turned out to be rebels, like me, which is cool. I believe in us. Uh, yeah, so that's about the reclamation of thoughts. And this, you can take the example of the mainstream media and a lot of agendas that we often talk about, um, and see how we are questioning those things. Okay, and I would say, oh yeah, sorry. And then there's the will to do things. Okay, the kind of life most of us have been subjected to is has really dimmed our fire, our will to do things. And most of the time we go through our days doing things we are just obligated to do as our role as maybe a family member, a friend, an employee, and business owner, or whatever. Because we just jumped into this timeline and accepted this life and this narrative of being this business owner or mother or whatever, without really considering if that resonates with us. And that's okay. That's okay if you feel that way, because we can work from there. We can change the whole vibe around your entire life and go from ABC to XYZ. But that happens with the reclamation of will, to really align yourself with your will, your actions with your will. And that is powerful. I hope you're getting that. Okay, the next was emotions. How do we feel about things? And the example that came to my mind was the whole romanticizing of partnerships that is so widespread amongst the mass media. And entertainment is fine, entertainment is cool, but if that becomes a dominant pursuit of your life, um, and something that you measure your self-worth to, even and basically if that narrative is blinding you to other things in life that you are maybe here to do, to create, because you're chasing this aspect of life that has been prevalent, and you have your entire emotions attached and dependent on that. So, reclaiming our emotions from the codependency of a relationship, and how that our emotion dynamics work, and we kind of gain that emotional energy from there. If we reclaim that, uh, to being emotional about ourselves, our creations, and how we show up every day, and really tap into what makes us happy and what doesn't feel right, or if you're not feeling right, what you need to do to sit through that, and get your vibe back up. If we kind of restructure our whole emotional system around that part of self concept, of creating from our infinite source that is within us, rather than uh, having a codependent relationship out there, that is sovereignty, emotional sovereignty. And ultimately that's wealth, right? Like, I could go on, but I know you already know how many limiting beliefs around wealth that we are currently dealing with and breaking out of worldwide, throughout the collective. And maybe this has played in your personal levels as well. One of my limiting beliefs around wealth would be like, I'm good, I don't need it. But I want to do other things, and I need wealth for that. And it is a good thing, it's a blessing to have wealth and enjoy life with freedom, with financial freedom. And that's possible for each and every one of us, because every soul is beautiful. It's pure beauty, it's pure light. And every soul aligns to a unique, beautiful life that resonates with them. And what beauty could mean a lot of things to you, but it is the feeling of being in bliss and being so connected with the flow of life, and that's how I would describe it right now. uh, yeah, and every soul deserves that. We just have to peel off the layer of coal and lead that we have accumulated when we have gone through a lot of hardships and uh, tough lessons, and really find what those lessons brought into us, okay, and how it formed the diamond within the coal, and reach for it. And once you tap into that and connect that and establish that connection, boy, you're unstoppable. Yeah, and that I think wraps up the second uh, step or phase of spiritual awakening, is slowly reclaiming your thoughts around an old narrative you were participating in, and your thoughts, your feelings, your will, and your abundance, your power. And the key ingredient to this would be to be willing to open yourself up to the possibilities of um, you know reaching that timeline, experiencing that timeline where you see yourself in control and in sovereign connection with your own thoughts, emotions, will, and wealth. Just being open to that possibility and ask universe to show you the way, because this phase, I think, takes the most work and the most bravery, the courage, the strength, the faith. Everything goes into this phase, and it's a lot of work. And me personally have fallen down so much, but as long as you're willing to get back up and keep pursuing that, keep going, if you have the belief in yourself and the universe that you are, and you can create anything if you just believe. So believe, believe, believe. Okay. Now the third section of the phase that I have written down to share today is reconnecting with the self. Okay, so when you do a lot of reclamation, you are going to tap into these parts of you that got um, submerged or obscured and hidden away, and you maybe forgot about and got disconnected from you. And so as you go through this work, you become aware of something, that there is a block around this, and you do the awareness work. You are just keeping an open mind and open heart about finding the shift from your current narratives. And do the work, you keep going, and you reach and you unlock a hidden part of yourself. And you feel more whole and more at home with yourself, and that's something beautiful. And reconnecting with the self could mean and look like a couple of things depending on what you are or where you are in your ascension journey right now. And it could feel something like feeling very connected to the source, the flow of life, and seeing yourself as a part of grander schemes of universal cosmic things. It could mean living a life that is totally in your soul alignment, and you're not doing things out of obligations. You're doing things because you feel that this is what you need to do in this now moment. And being in that alignment, you're not torn into different things. Your emotions are not torn, and you're not forcing yourself, I don't want to do this, but I gotta do this. Okay, and that's a good place to be, at least in my opinion. I don't know how many of you agree with that, but it does feel good. Yeah, and it can also look like tapping into your unique gifts, reconnecting with gifts that you had as a child, and maybe some of you are even opening up to clairs and psychic powers and clairvoyance. Those are cool things to have, and every humans have it. And as we reclaim ourselves from all the old lies, the wave of lies that we have created, or we have created collectively or individually, as we break out of those, we also tap into these gifts. So yeah, it can be very scary and confusing in the beginning, but as you get the hang of this journey and you give into it and you start enjoying it, boy, it really gets amazing, you know. So that actually brings me to this point that um, as I was like pushing myself to get these things together, get the tribe together, and um, putting my message out there for people to receive, and I was just open to this and willingness, like show me the way. Last week I have like connected to at least 5 people who have like given me the signs and synchronicities to say that yes, I'm on the right path, and to align me to that path more and more. And that's what happens, when you follow your heart's resonance, your external world confirms it in the most beautiful, heart touching way. And that gives you so much more hope and faith in yourself to keep going, and, and opening those doors that leads to like wonders of the wonders. So, yeah, if you're watching this video on the YouTube, okay, I would like to invite you to join my Facebook group. I'm using that Facebook group as the initial platform because I feel that's very convenient for me right now, given it is a good interface and it's a private group. So I can use that tool right now to create this energetic space for you guys. So if you feel ready that to come out and to connect with other people, and share your stories and medicine and learn from each other and support each other, in essence, to grow, to evolve through this journey, and especially when it gets hard and you are bombarded with the negative feelings and thoughts. There's a space that you can go and share it, and people won't judge because everybody in that group is going through the same things in different forms. It's just the narrative is different from people to people, but the process is pretty much the same. And to learn from each other's stories and journeys, I think that's a beautiful thing. So if you're feeling the call to do this, drop me an email at ego.alchemist.community@gmail.com. I'll share the email address in the description box as well. Or you can DM me in my Instagram. Yeah, but I would prefer an email, or DM also works, whatever you're comfortable with. Or if I'm on Facebook, just get in touch with me and I'll share the next steps with you. Okay. Oh, so I hope that was interesting today, and you got a little bit of understanding on how we go through this process of spiritual awakening and ascension. Yeah. And now I want to share something amazing that I downloaded right before I came onto the call. And that's, I would call the Air Arcanum. So we have main 4 elements, right? The air, the fire, the water, and earth. And air is the element of thoughts, of your mental realm, okay? And I downloaded this beautiful thing, and let me share that with you. Your thoughts are passing clouds. The shapes you see in them may mean something personal and unique to you. You are the air that shapes these clouds. In your head, connect with the element of air within you to regain the sovereignty of shaping your own thoughts. How beautiful is that? And I think we kind of talked around that line in the second step or phase that I shared about the spiritual ascension process, is reclaiming that sovereignty. and an understanding that your thoughts, what you think are all those like passing clouds that you are basically catching up to. Okay, you are basically observing because it's out there in the collective memory, in the collective consciousness. And when you see those clouds, when you hear me talk, you hear somebody talk about something else, it kind of resonates in a very unique way to you. And there is a specific way that only you can absorb that information. Now, many times we stop at that and we let that, whatever message is given to us, and we can take it as a whole. But there's a process, there is a step in between when you receive that information, and that is connecting with the air within you, that shapes something that is already so intangible. Okay, like something that shapes the cloud. I don't know if I'm doing a good job at explaining this thing, but I think whatever downloaded was pretty good. I'll give more thought on that and maybe expand on that. So if you watch this, so thank you so much for joining in with me and sharing this time with me. I appreciate you a lot. If you want to join the tribe, let me know. Maybe you can drop it in the comments and I can get in touch with you, or you could just write me at my email address that I'm going to share in the description box. And yeah, reclaim your thoughts, your air. I think that's the main message I wanted to share in today's session. I love you guys. It's like I don't even want to go, but I respect your time. And I think I'm hungry. So I'll see you later. Bye. Happy ascension.